Hi Year 2s, I hope you're having a lovely day. Welcome to our final reading comprehension lesson of the week. Today we are doing it on Wednesday this week because tomorrow is World Book Day. So today we're going to be looking at interpret questions for the text that we've been reading this week. But first we are going to look at another picture from Paddington. So the first question is an explain question. What does astonished mean? Paddington Bear looks astonished there. What does it mean? Pause the video to have a little think. Great, well done. Astonished means amazed. So Paddington Bear is amazed at what he's looking at. Well done. Next question is a retrieval question. What can you see on the tray? There's quite a few things there. What can you see on the tray? Pause the video to have a think. Great, well done. I can see cups of tea, some cakes and a jam tart as well. Well done if you got that right. And the last question we've got here is an inference question. Why does Paddington Bear look astonished? Why does he look amazed, astonished? Pause the video to have a little think. Great, well done. Maybe he's feeling astonished because he's never seen this type of food before. Maybe where he came from, they always only had marmalade, but there's lots of different foods there on the plate and some cups of tea. So maybe he's never seen it before. That's why he's looking so amazed, so astonished. Okay, let's reread our text for the final time, and then we're going to be answering some inference questions. So read along with me if you've got your text there, or you can look at the screen. Mr. and Mrs. Brown first met Paddington on a railway platform. In fact, that was how he came to have such an unusual name for a bear, for Paddington was the name of the station. The Browns were there to meet their daughter Judy, who was coming home from school for the holidays. It was a warm summer day and the station was crowded with people on their way to the seaside. Trains were humming, loudspeakers blaring, porters rushing about shouting at one another, and altogether there was so much noise that Mr. Brown, who saw him first, had to tell his wife several times before she understood. A bear on Paddington Station? Mrs. Brown looked at her husband in amazement. Don't be silly, Henry, there can't be. Mr. Brown adjusted his glasses. But there is, he insisted. I distinctly saw it, over there, near the bicycle rack. It was wearing a funny kind of hat. Without waiting for a reply, he caught hold of his wife's arm and pushed her through the crowd, round a trolley laden with chocolate and cups of tea, past a bookstall, and through a gap in a pile of suitcases towards the Lost Property Office. There you are, he announced triumphantly, pointing towards a dark corner. I told you so. Mrs. Brown followed the direction of his arm and dimly made out a small furry object in the shadows. It seemed to be sitting on some kind of suitcase, and around its neck there was a label with some writing on it. The suitcase was old and battered, and on the side in large letters were the words, "Wanted on voyage." Okay, so our first inference question that we'll do together is this. Why do you think Mrs. Brown doesn't believe her husband at first? So why doesn't he believe her husband at first? So Mr. Brown, who saw him first, had to tell his wife several times before she understood. So he had to tell her quite a few times before she understood. A bear on Paddington Station? Don't be silly, Henry. There can't be. Pause the video to have a think then. Why do you think Mrs. Brown doesn't believe her husband at first? Okay, well done if you got that one. So the answer to that one is She didn't believe her husband at first because she said, "Don't be silly, Henry, there can't be." Because she thought it's quite ridiculous to see a bear in the middle of a train station. So that is the answer to that question. Okay, so I would like you now to have a go at these inference questions. You're going to write the questions down and then answer them. Use the text to help you, but remember, inference questions you don't find exactly in the text. You need to use the text to help you understand what the answer might be. So question 1, why do you think that Mr. Brown is quite eager to prove that he really did see a bear? Why does he want to prove that there is a bear there? Question 2, why were the porters rushing about? Question 3, why do you think the suitcase was old and battered? And question 4, why were the people on their way to the seaside? Okay, so pause the video and have a go at those questions. And when you're ready, you can press play and we will go through the answers. Okay, so the first question then, why do you think that Mr. Brown is quite eager to prove that he really did see a bear? Okay, so the answer to that question, he really wanted to prove it because he wanted to show his wife that it was true. There really was a bear. Okay. Question 2, why were the porters rushing about? The porters were rushing about, and we know that it was really crowded in the station. So we know that it was really busy. Trains were humming, that was busy. Loudspeakers were blaring. So lots of people saying where the trains are going. So the porters were rushing about because the station was really busy with lots of people and there was a lot of luggage to help move. So that's why they were really busy, because the train station was really busy. Question 3, why do you think the suitcase was old and battered? So it says down here, the suitcase was old and battered. Well, we know that battered means that it's really old and maybe used a lot. So the answer to that question is because Paddington must have had the suitcase for a long time, or maybe he even got it handed to him, maybe from his grandparents. So that's probably why it was old and battered. It could have been, I suppose, as well, because he'd been on a long voyage. Maybe that was a long, long voyage that he had, and then it became old and battered as well then. Okay. And the last question, question 4, why were the people on their way to the seaside? So it says at the top here, people were on their way to the seaside. Well, it also says it was a warm summer day. So the reason why people were on their way to the seaside is because it was a warm summer's day. Lots of people on their way, lots of people go to the seaside when it's a nice warm sunny day, don't they? Okay, well done for answering all those questions, and I will see you again very soon. Bye-bye.